Hello and welcome to another Happily Letter After tutorial. Today's tutorial is a little bit different and it's going to be messy and fun. And this is kind of experimental. This is actually my first time doing this, and I figured I would have you guys do it along with me. I already tested it out a little bit. I got these awesome watercolor fabric markers for Christmas, and I'm finally going to use them, and I'm very excited about this. And I will say this though, when using them, they are extremely hard to push when you're trying to get the color out. That's the only downside to them. To get these markers, the only place I've seen them is Michael's. I've tried Amazon and I've Googled and I couldn't find them anywhere else. So if you want to get these, they're at Amazon or they're at Michael's. They are a bit pricey. They're about $25 a pack, and they only come with 4 colors. I got 2 packs for Christmas, but Michael's is always having coupons and deals, so I'm sure you can use that towards it. And they're a lot of fun, and I think it's worth it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a white or a light colored shirt. I have a cream colored one here, and I have a white one set aside to do later. You're going to need the paints, obviously, some water, paper towel to get your colors going on, and you can use cardboard to put in between your shirt so that it doesn't bleed through to the other side of the shirt. I recommend wrapping it in like plastic wrap or something too, just in case, because you don't want it to, if it gets really wet, you don't want it to get the cardboard all funky. It'd be weird. I had made these templates for you. There's a bunch of different designs, different sayings and stuff that you can print out and put between your piece. I'm using just a plastic sleeve you could use for a binder, and that way it'll protect it and I don't have to worry about doing anything else to it. I don't have to put cardboard or anything. I mean, you can as well if you want to. If you don't have plastic sleeves, I recommend putting plastic wrap around it again so that it doesn't, the black ink doesn't bleed through. You don't want that. You want just your colors. The color drops, actually there's a lot more in here than I thought, and there's it says on the package about 50 drops per bottle, and you only need between 5 and 15 depending on how many or how light or dark you want your pigment to be. If you do 5 drops, it's going to be lighter. 10 drops is medium, which is what I did for most of mine. Is I did about 10 drops, so it's kind of in the middle. 15 drops is going to be a darker, bolder color. But I figured I would stick with the in-between color for right now. All right, so to get started, you're going to want to slide your paper in your shirt. I don't know if you can see this really well, but I can see through this shirt, so I don't need to do anything like putting a light box, but that is an option. If you need to, you can put a light box in between the shirt there so you can see it better if you need to. This shirt just happens to be thin enough and light enough where I can see it without that. Make sure that everything's even and lined up to where you want it to be. That's important before you start, because once you start, it's not going to be easy to stop and you can't really fix it. Make sure your shirt is clean, washed. I washed it and then I hang dried it first before I did this. Make sure you do that beforehand, and afterwards to take care of it, you can wash it on gentle. These are again on the directions on the back of the package, so I'm just reiterating them. But you can hand wash it, or you can put it on the gentle cycle, but hang dry it. Don't dry it in the dryer because it might mess with the colors. Also, another tip I recommend is buying some scrap fabric, or if you have any laying around. I got this white little piece of fabric over at Walmart real cheap for like a couple dollars. That way I could test it out and make sure that it worked the way I wanted it to. So I was testing colors and testing the brushes. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with this pinkish red color. Shake your brush. All right. Okay, now this is really tricky. Unfortunately, they made this really hard to squeeze, and I don't know why, but squeeze it and then brush it. And if you have any experience with using any of these watercolor brush pens, then you'll kind of have an idea on how to do this. So you'll be ahead of the game on this. One thing I don't know is what happens when you run out of your paint, your ink that they give you. I don't know if they've got replacements yet. I have not seen them at Michael's, maybe on their website or the company site. I will try to find out more information to give you guys for that. And I will update the blog post as that comes about, because I have no idea yet. I was actually thinking about buying some fabric dye to try my own thing and see, or like maybe food coloring and see how that works. But I'm sure there's options you can do at home, like your own thing. And if you do experiment with other things, share with me. I would love to know what you're doing, because hey, that's what we're here for. We're all here to help each other and to inspire each other. So you just squeeze to get some of that color out. And if you've taken my hand lettering classes, you'll know that you want to be thick on your downstroke and thin on your upstroke. Ooh. Oh, that's all right. Got a little bit there, but you know what? I was actually going to do that anyway, is after this is all said and done, I am going to go through and I am going to splatter. I want that splattered effect on this one. And I think what I might do is I might outline these, or I might try a bleach pen to get into the details so that you can read it a little better. Lettering is going to be harder. I write close together. That's my problem. Everybody's style is different. I write my letters a little too close together sometimes, and so they are bleeding together, as you can see. So I recommend spacing your letters apart more. But if you write thin enough, you should be fine. Again, these are just guidelines, so you don't have to follow them. Definitely create your own designs. This is just to get you started, get an idea, maybe give you some inspiration for some quotes you didn't think of using, or artwork you didn't think of doing, and try your own thing. And I'm going to be back, and I will be back with the finished piece to show you. That way you can see what it looks like when it's all done and it's dry, and you can wear it. Hey guys, back. So yeah, this didn't turn out the way I had hoped, so it's kind of like that show Nailed It, kind of failed it instead. So we improvised. My friend Beth joined me, and hers was an attempt at the flowers that I had done, and as you can see, it bled together. So we created tie-dye. And the Pursue Your Purpose came out very interesting, so I did a tie-dye for that as well. But as you can see, the letters kind of got outlined, so I used some fabric paint and wrote over it. So if you try this and it works, I'd love to see it. And if you fail it and you do something like this, I'd still like to see it. So please share it, and good luck.